the winter of 1944, the forests of the Ardennes slept under a suffocating blanket of snow. A silence so deep that even breathing felt like a crime against nature. In that cold, in that endless white, stood a boy named William Carter, only 19 years old, wearing the uniform of an American infantryman, holding a weapon that would come to define the fate of a war, the M1 Garand. He wasn't supposed to be here. He was supposed to be in school, laughing with friends, dreaming of tomorrow. But yesterday had died the day the world went to war. His mother had cried quietly when he signed the enlistment paper. His father had placed a hand on his shoulder and said only one sentence: "War does not make heroes, son. War only shows who the heroes already were." William never understood those words, not then. He would understand them soon, in the frozen hell of Bastogne, where every heartbeat was borrowed time. The 1st Airborne Division, low on ammunition, low on supplies, surrounded by enemy forces, freezing, starving, exhausted, held the strategic town of Bastogne against a massive German offensive. The Germans had tanks, artillery, supply lines, and overwhelming numbers. The Americans had only determination, courage, and rifles, especially the rifle William held, the Garand, with its heavy wooden frame, its 8-round en-bloc clip, its precise bite of each fired shot, and its unmistakable ping when the clip ejected. That sound was life and death. It told a soldier when he had fired his last round. It told the enemy too, but William held it like it was part of his soul, as if it was the only thing keeping the cold away, as if it was the only thing keeping him alive. He had come to war with dreams of glory, but those dreams had been shattered the first time he saw a man die, not an enemy, but his friend Tommy, shot in the chest during an ambush weeks earlier. Tommy had been 18. He used to talk about a girl named Lily, who waited for him back home. Now Tommy's dog tags hung from William's neck, next to his own. When the snow fell at night, William would touch those dog tags and whisper, "I'll make it mean something, brother." The war did not stop for grief. Grief marched alongside them. The German siege tightened. Frostbite ate into fingers and toes. Food rations dropped to almost nothing. Many soldiers had no winter coats. Men cried silently in the dark, not from fear, but from the cold that sank into the bone like a slow death. Yet they would not surrender, because surrender meant every man who had died before had died for nothing. On the 5th day of the siege, William and his squad were positioned near a frozen ridge overlooking a narrow road through the woods. If that road fell, Bastogne would fall. If Bastogne fell, the Germans would break through to the coast. If they reached the coast, the war might be lost. History turned on a single snow-covered road. William stood beside Sergeant Miller, a scarred veteran who had seen 3 years of war. Miller had a voice like gravel and eyes that saw everything. "Carter," he said, his breath clouding in the freezing air. "See that forest line down there? They'll come from there." William nodded, hands shaking not from fear, but from the cold that gnawed through his gloves. Miller didn't look at him, but he saw him. He knew. "Hold your rifle tight. The Garand takes care of you if you take care of it." William nodded again. It was the closest thing to comfort he'd heard in days. Then the forest moved. German infantry, dozens, then scores, pouring like shadows from between the trees. They advanced silently, disciplined, trained, the elite Volksgrenadiers. William swallowed hard. Miller raised his hand slowly. Held it, held it. Now the Americans opened fire. The first 8 shots cracked from William's M1, Garand like thunder in the frozen sky. Sharp, powerful, perfect. He fired, reloaded, fired, reloaded. The Garand's rhythm became his heartbeat. Soldiers around him fell, screaming, begging, cursing, praying. The world became noise and blood and snow. William felt none of it. He was a machine, a storm. A boy who had no choice but to become a man in the time it takes to pull a trigger. But the Germans kept coming. A shell landed behind them, throwing William into the snow. His ears rang, his vision blurred. He tasted iron and dirt. When he regained focus, he saw Miller lying on the ground, blood pouring from his leg. William crawled to him. Sarge, stay with me." Miller grabbed his collar, pulled him close. His voice was weak, but still steel. "Listen to me, Carter. You hold that ridge. No matter what, if they take this road, everyone dies. You understand?" William did. He had no plan, no strategy, only his rifle, his last magazine, and the promise he made to Tommy. He stood alone now. The others were down or pulling back. The ridge was his. The road, his responsibility. He could run. No one would blame him. He could live. But some lives are worse than death. He thought of his mother's tears, his father's words, Tommy's laughter, and he stood his ground. The Germans advanced again, thinking the ridge was taken. William raised the M1 Garand and breathed. The world disappeared. There was only the firing site, the trigger, the snow, and the endless line of enemies. He fired, every shot a heartbeat. His mind disappeared. His fear disappeared. He became the rifle, the winter wind, the last defense of Bastogne. The Germans hesitated, a single soldier holding a ridge alone. Impossible. Then they realized it was not impossible. It was American, but even heroes run out of bullets. The last shot fired. The clip ejected with a ping that echoed across the battlefield, a sound like fate closing its hand. The Germans heard it. They charged. William did not retreat. He lifted the rifle like a spear and charged them. A scream ripped from his throat, not of fear, but of defiance, of memory, of love, of pain, of every moment that made him human. He struck one soldier, then another, but the third struck back. A bayonet, a sharp cold pain. William fell to the snow. The world dimmed. He saw the sky, endless, silent, peaceful. He heard voices, distant American voices. Reinforcements. The siege was broken. Bastogne held. The world changed. But William did not rise to see it. They found him in the snow, his hand still gripping the M1 Garand, his dog tags resting over the ones that belonged to Tommy. They sent those tags back home, to a kitchen, to a mother who would cry again. But this time she would know her son had saved lives, thousands. War did not make William a hero. He already was one. The war only proved it.